Hello and welcome back to Airdrie Public Library Virtual Programming. Last time we made this wonderful story, and let's go over what we did. So we learned the basics of creating passages and how they connect to each other. We learned that we can do italics, bold, we can make these links here. So try the front door goes to try the front door, whereas try the window goes to trip and fall. You learn some more text styling with the color red and text style smear. You learned what hooks are and how to use them. We learned a little bit about if statements. We also learned about global variables. I'm going to talk more in depth about variables in general this time, so get ready for that. The first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to create a new passage, and I'm going to do a really cool tool. So this is called a prompt. And this is a very good way of getting information from player. So I can type in prompt and say, what is your name? And if I put something, a second thing in here, I can give it a default value. So my name's Adam, so I'm going to say, put Adam in there. And people can change it if they want. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see how it pops up with a box here? It says, what is your name? And it already has Adam in the text field there. So I can change that. I can go Joe if I want. I can hit OK. It just says Joe. So there's some different things we can do with that. I'm going to type up here first, what is your name? And we can do some programming to set their response to a new variable called name. So we're going to set name to prompt response. And then after that, we can say, oh, so your name is this. And then from there, we can do our handy dandy link again and say continue to, I think I named it beginning. Nope, I named it start. Delete that. And call this start. Let's see what happens. What is your name? Adam. Okay. Oh, so your name is Adam. Continue. Good. Now let's change this to our actual start story spot by hitting these little ellipses here and then start story here. And see how that little rocket ship changed from being on our start passage to our new untitled passage. So that prompt is a very good way of getting text information from your player. And it keeps things very engaging as well. So the next thing you're going to learn the either function. You're going to learn how to put some interesting randomness into our games. So we just entered the library here. We're going to say, you enter the library. It is dark and dusty. Books line the shelves. We're gonna create a hook like earlier. Pull a book from the shelf. We're gonna call this hook pull book, and remember to use the pipe key here. Now when we click that, click pull book, what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to say the book is about something. And here's where I'm going to put some randomness in. I'm going to use the either command, just like that. I'm going to put some options in it for it. So I'm going to start with maybe cooking. The book is about cooking. Or the book is about fantasy. Or the book is about adventure. Or the book is about romance. And what this either does is it'll pick one of these random options that are separated by a comma and just plop that into place. So let's put a period at the end of that and say you put it back and continue on. All right, let's test it, see if it works. You enter the library. It's dark and dusty. Books line the shelves. Pull a book from the shelf. The book is about romance. Cool. Let's refresh this and see if we get a different book. The book is about adventure. We see we've got romance and adventure, and we've got cooking as well. Another cooking book. Another adventure book. See? It's pretty cool. The next thing I'm going to show you is called hidden hooks. So let's say we have something we want to show, but not right now. I'm going to create a hook here that says, the shelves seem to never end. And instead of creating a normal hook like this, let's call this shelves. Instead of this triangle bracket that makes this here look like a tag, I'm going to use a open bracket that is supposed to make this look like a thought bubble. So this will by default hide whatever's in here until we use the command show. So let's see, when this is clicked, that's when we'll run the show command. Show, and what do we want to show? The shelves hook. And that's all we need. So when we test this again, pull a book from the shelf, and we can see the shelves seem to never end. That just popped up out of nowhere. Let's see that again. Books on the shelves, there's nothing over here. Pull a book, and it pops up. So that works. So let's continue on from this area. Maybe the next place we go to is, let's go to the service desk. We're going to call that new passage service desk. That's automatically created for us down here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the variables. So we've used a global variable before. A global variable is defined by the number sign, or not number sign, sorry, the dollar sign. And global variables can be used anywhere. So I'm just going to write that down. Can be used anywhere. Just like how when we used our look around, we set it to true in here, and then we checked it in this passage. If the has cutter is true, do this. If not, then don't do that. So global variables are very useful, but maybe you don't want something that can be used anywhere. Maybe you want a local variable, which is defined by the underscore. Local variable. And these local variables can be used here only. Just in this passage. If we go outside of this passage, so if we used a local variable here, and we went back into here, it won't know what that variable over here was. And this is useful so that we can reuse some names. And just as a refresher, a variable is basically like, imagine a container that can hold anything. So if we want to set our global variable here, we'll go set global variable to, what's something we can set this to? Let's set it to a string, so words. This is a string, and all strings are contained in these quotations. That's how the computer knows to group these together as words that you want to store and not as something like to, which means make this, or set that we used over here. And we can do something different for the local variable. Maybe we'll set it to a number. So we've used a number here, we've used a string over here, and then we used what's called a Boolean, or a true or false, over here. There's many more things that you can do. Like this next one I'm about to show you. This is called an array. An array is basically like a shopping list. So let's create a local variable. Call it my array. We can set my array to this array that we create. And let's say this array is a pile of books. So what's some good books? I'm gonna go with Hunger Games, Name of the Wind, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Mosquito Coast, and one more. Let's go Fahrenheit 451. How do you... Fahrenheit? Yeah, that looks almost right. Fahrenheit 451. And let's put Shakespeare in there too. Macbeth. There we go. So this array is now our shopping list of variables. So it has this variable, the string, this variable as a string, this variable as a string, this one, and this one too. And they're all one after each other. So this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Oops, let's not do that. Sixth. So you might be asking, what can we do with this? Well, maybe you see a pile of books on the desk. The titles read my array. Let's see what that says now. We see this is a string, can be used anywhere. 1, 2, 3 can be used here only. And you see a pile of books on the desk. The titles read Hunger Games, Name of the Wind, To Kill a Mockingbird, Mosquito Coast, Fahrenheit 451, and Macbeth. So you can already see how if you were to use this list a lot, it can be copied over just by using our variable name, myArray. But maybe let's take it a step further. Maybe we want to say one of these books catches your eye. So I'm going to use a command called nth. This one is kind of weird. Imagine it like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right? But instead of a number, it's n. This is nth, and this will pick a number, so let's say 3 for now, and then out of your array, my array. These 3 dots here, these ellipses, this is called the spread operator. So if you're ever using everything in an array inside one of these programming things, you will usually need this. So this will pick the 3rd entry into our array here. You can say this book catches your eye. Let's see if that works. To Kill a Mockingbird catches your eye. Is that the 3rd one? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. What if we want to use some more of that randomness, though? Well, instead of using either, this time maybe we want to use the random function. So I'm going to create a new variable, call it, I'm going to set, first of all, choose book. This is our new local variable, to a random number between 1 and 5. So random just picks a random number inclusive of these 2. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then from there, I can go and put this variable into our number slot. And now it'll automatically pick a random book out of our array. So let's try that again, see if it works. Mosquito Coast catches your eye. Let's reload, see if we get a different one. Fahrenheit 451. See how this is already starting to be more engaging with randomness? Alright, so let's add a little more story into this. I think I'm going to get rid of these local and global variables here for now. So this book has caught your eye. We can even turn this into a hook. That's right. I'm just going to call this hook plain old hook. And when you click on this hook, it's going to say something spooky. You realize that this is the same book you checked out 10 years ago and never returned. A ghost librarian appears behind the desk. and says maybe we want to use some of that cool text style again. We're going to use text style smear. And she's going to say, oops. Why haven't you returned your book? Name. Remember how we asked the player for their name forever ago? Using a global variable, well, now we can access that again all the way down here. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, we've got a problem already. The click changer should be stored in a variable or attached to a hook. Let's see what we did wrong. So we have an open square bracket here, but we never actually close this one again. Let's just stick another one over here. Mosquito Coast catches your eye. You realize that this is the same book you checked out 10 years ago and never returned. Ghost Librarian appears behind the desk. Why haven't you returned your book? 0? Well, why did it say 0? I think that is because we never actually initialized our name yet, because we're just starting from here. We start from here and go all the way through it. I think it'll be good. So let's try that. What's your name? Adam. Yes. Try the front door, look around, grab those bolt cutters, cut your way through the chains and enter the library. Pull a book from the shelf. It's about cooking. Go to the service desk, and Mosquito Coast again catches our eye. Why haven't you returned your book, Adam? There's one more thing I want to do in here. And that is, I want to make my name uppercase. And lucky for us, there's a nice little command that I found in our Harlow 3.10 manual called uppercase. And then I can just take this name, plop it into here, and I think it'll turn it uppercase. So let's try this again. A speed run through our game here. Try the front door, look around, I missed the bolt cutters, enter the library. Yep, look at that. It's all in uppercase. So that is our library adventure so far. I hope you've learned something. Next week, we'll be going over some more advanced stuff, like cycling links, drop-down menus, and link reveals. Some more like selection stuff that you can really plan out your game and get like cool stuff going on here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.